Hi, and welcome to another fine edition of On the Spot. My name is Ronnie Wiley. To my left, to your right, this man probably doesn't need any introduction. Stan Howard. Stan, how are you?
I'm good, Ron.
My friend, I got to tell you, let me tell you, to preface everything, before the show, I kind of meet with the guests, talk to them about what we're going to talk about. This man has had me laughing in stitches, has John laughing in stitches. Get your popcorn, get whatever beverage you like. This man's going to entertain you for the next 30 minutes. Stan, how are you?
I'm good. You gave me too good of a...
That was a great introduction.
Oh,
I think
man.
I may have kind of lowered it a little bit.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit...
No, you'll meet and exceed the expectations.
Okay, Ron.
What makes Stan Howard? Where did it all begin? Tell me where it all began. I just heard the story, but
There's a gleam in my father's eye, actually. Back in 1950, actually, it probably was early in 1951. I was born here in Connersville on September 16th of 1951.
Yeah.
Yes, and I moved, lived in Connersville for a couple of years, and we moved out to the fine city of Orange.
Oh, wow.
And I grew up there. I lived there 20 years and got married in 1974 and moved to a bigger town called Harrisburg.
Oh, I see. You just hit these big towns.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big town guy.
Yeah, I could tell.
And then 20 years later, moved into Connersville. Of course, I've been a mail carrier since 1977.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know at one time there was a story where you had never missed a day. Is that streak still going on?
No, no. When I was still a sub, I subbed for 6.5 years before I got a route of my own. When I was still a sub, I was deathly sick one day. I had some kind of form of the flu.
Right.
And I sat down and was casing my mail. I was determined I was going to deliver my route. And the guy that was in charge said, "You're not going out there. You're going to wreck."
Right.
I don't think he was concerned about me more than wrecking the Jeep.
Okay, so you were driving the company.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said, "You can't wreck one of our vehicles," because that's what I probably would have done because I was
sick.
Very, very sick. And he sent me home. It was a Thursday. He said, "You take off Friday, and then we'll let you carry one of the downtown routes on Saturday. And kind of, if you think you can do it." So I did that, and I took a partial day of sick leave that day. I didn't really call in.
Right.
I hadn't called in a day when the Final Fours were all going on. That's what all the buzz was about.
Right.
This man's never called in sick.
Right.
And
they told you to go.
And of course, you would know, since they said and made a big deal about that. A few months after the Final Four, I woke up with Montezuma's revenge, Oh,
wow.
And I called into work, and I says, "Well, I'm not going to be there."
And
they
said,
silence. Yes. And they said, "Well, why?" I says, "Well, let's put it this way. I feel like a king right now, and I probably will all day." And they said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because I'm sitting on the throne, and I'm likely to be there all day long. And I don't think I can pass mail this way, but I'm passing a lot of other things." So,
what a great way to put it. Yeah.
But anyway, so they did
History was made.
They did the math, and they figured they'll probably call in again about 2025.
Wow. Yeah, and hopefully you'll be retired by then.
Well, I would think so, yeah. I'll have to call my wife.
Yeah, ask her if it's okay to retire.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great story. I mean, all that time, and didn't miss during the Final Four. Yeah, we talked about that too. I mean, that is something that, brought great pride to this community was when Matt was in the Final Four in 10 and 11 for against Duke the first year and against Connecticut next year. And wow, that's still a sense of pride.
Well, and it's not just for Connersville, it's for the whole state of Indiana.
Right.
And all this area.
Right.
I mean, people were embracing the Butler team. It's because, well, I know the family, I know him, I know them.
Yeah.
But what I really amazed me the most was in the second time in 2011 when they went to Houston.
Right.
And we were counting on driving down there with one of the other sets of parents. And thanks to deceased Butler alumni Howard Manifold, who just passed away this year, who was a good friend of mine. I'll tell you a story about him in a second.
All right.
But he and Dick Gutman were down at Brian's bookstore one day and said, why don't we take up a collection for these guys and collect a little money for them? Mm-hmm. And in 3 days, they collected enough for the whole family to go.
Yeah, and you got a huge family.
And that was Connorsville.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Connorsville was on display
Right.
in the Final Four. And I made sure to mention that to everybody I knew,
Right.
that this is how people are in Connorsville, Indiana.
Right.
I mean, and that was back in the time, especially when we were getting, bashed for this and that. Well, we lost Carbon Motors, and we
Right.
lost this and that, and things were not good.
Right.
But boy, I'll tell you, Connorsville, they
heart's always
stepped
been
up
there.
to the plate.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a need, Connorsville
Connorsville needs
people,
it. Yeah.
they're there.
That's absolutely,
And
you're absolutely right.
and I made sure I told everybody I knew at Final Four about the people of Connorsville, because I never forgot it, and I appreciate it. And there's an endowment at the foundation now to give scholarships in Matt's name because of that.
Right, right. Yeah. Amazing story. Also, too, the Houston trip. The NC2A has their quirky rules, and you got entangled in one of those rules. Explain that, how that all came about.
Which one you talking about?
Well, yeah, that's right. Wasn't there a big deal when we would make the shirts for Matt?
Oh my God!
You about got them kicked off the program.
They made shirts and at Athletic Arena.
Right. Yeah.
For Matt's senior day.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, this was before the tournament.
Well, didn't they have Matt Howard Day all the time?
And oh yeah, the last game of the year would be Connorsville would come up and watch Matt play. Mm-hmm. It started his freshman year. We took a few people, and then it just kept escalating. By his senior year, there were 1,500 people there from Connorsville.
Unbelievable.
And but they made shirts, and they had Matt's picture on the shirt. Can't do it. And I didn't know that.
Right.
And we all met at Athletic Arena, and there's me and with my Matt Howard shirt on, and Coach Brown and my son Tim, and we're all, and my son Dan, who's the mail carrier here in town, we're all wearing our shirts, and it wasn't 2 hours later, the lady that's in charge of
NC2A.
the stuff at Butler, the
compliance.
The compliance person, that's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Thank you. The compliance person called me and said, I know that this, you guys don't realize this, but you can't put Matt's picture on a shirt while he's in college and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'll have to send him a cease and desist order. I said, that's fine. And he said, you talk to them, tell them what they can do. And so they made different shirts. Of course, there's still some rogue shirts out there that are probably worth something.
I would keep them, yeah.
I kept one.
Yeah.
And
just because it had the Butler logo with it, is that correct?
And the Butler logo and his picture.
So if you
couldn't sell his picture.
Which is crazy, because
Yeah.
you have many pictures of him at your
But
house.
you couldn't sell his picture
Yeah.
and make money off of it
Right.
while he was an amateur.
Wow.
That's the thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But
That's amazing.
Yeah. But they made new shirts, and people all showed up, and it was interesting. The first 3 years that Matt was at Butler, we would stay for senior day and applaud everyone nicely. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the crowd would leave. Mm-hmm. But the hangers, the real fans would stay and applaud the seniors.
The kids.
Except for Matt's senior year, nobody left.
That's awesome.
Nobody left, and when they announced his name, wow, I still kind of get choked up about it. Because it was like they were expressing their gratitude.
Yeah.
For what he'd done for 4 years,
Yeah.
and that they really enjoyed him, and you could feel the love there.
Yeah,
you say that kind of offhandedly, but you really could.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that was just really neat. And I think about the Final Fours and stuff, and how it was fun to be a part of that.
Sure.
I remember when Pete Rose in 1975, when they had the Game 6 where Fisk hits a home run and to win it, and the Reds had lost.
Right.
And Pete said, "Man, that was fun to be a part of."
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, but you lost.
Right.
But then in 2010, after they'd lost to Duke,
Oh, there was no biter.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I knew what he meant.
Right.
That was just great to be a part of, even though you lost.
Yeah. I never forget after that game, the SI cover that week was a photo of Matt sprawled out on the floor. You know, he gave it his all. And it just came down to that haymaker from Haywood, and it just went off the rim. And you give your all, and you're right. I mean, that's, you know, they didn't win, but my goodness, they gained a lot of fans, and just the experience and the pride that was shown is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And then to go back the next year, and we talked about this before we started shooting the show, you know, they wouldn't have been there if Matt didn't have that cleanup basket that first game.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? And then they go back there, and then you run into the NCAA again. Explain what happened then.
I can't. What
You're
time?
just a
What are you
rebel,
talking
don't
about?
know. The time with Ursay.
Oh, yes.
Was there another time?
No. This was when they were collecting the money for us.
Right, okay, yeah. Right,
And Jim Irsay called and says, "Hey, you don't have to collect money. I'll fly you down there on my jet, your whole family."
So Ursay called you personally?
Not him. He's
His secretary.
somebody that worked for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, I'll have to check on that," because I'd already had compliance issues already, you know. And so I thought, I bet that's not doable. But I thought, well, you know, I'll call. So I called, and they said, "Oh, good heavens, no, he can't do that."
Crazy.
And so I called. Well, actually, the day all that happened, Phil Richards worked at the Star then. I don't think he does anymore. At Indianapolis Star. Walked with me all day on my route. And I'm delivering mail, talking to compliance people, you know,
Oh, right,
and the whole time. And finally I said, "Well, they said, can we send you a check?" I said, "Well, I'll find out, you know." And I said, "Can they just send me a check?" "Yeah, that's okay." And so he did, and it was generous, and got that taken care of. So, yeah.
That's awesome. You would think, and you know, the NCAA, some of their rules are just absolutely crazy. I remember something similar happened with Bill Walton. He did a jet for his kids, for his son, when he played for Arizona, and he got in trouble for that. And it's like, how is that going to help Matt play? Obviously, you know, the whole team shot 30%, so it didn't help. But how would that help or hurt or give an advantage? That's to have his family come to the ball game.
I don't know.
What happens if you picked him up and drove him yourself? Are you allowed to do that? I mean, you have to run to those things.
Well, there's probably a stipulation for that too.
Probably
there is for
yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
The book's pretty big.
Well, you guys got treated. You had the red carpet out those couple of years. You said something about a limousine.
Well, somebody wanted to pick us up in a limousine, and of course you couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Were you allowed to? You were allowed to be at the game.
I was allowed to be at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this you have to jump through the right hoops, just so Matt doesn't get in trouble. You know.
Yeah.
But I guess all those rules have happened because people have taken advantage of things.
Well, sure, I'm sure.
And over the years, and that's probably why they're all in place.
But a limousine, man, I would have done it with you.
I wouldn't have liked the limousine. I'd feel
Have
like
you ever been in one?
I'd feel like Mom Paul Kettle, you know. I mean, in the big city. You know?
That's true, but that's what made it fun.
But yeah.
Yeah, you could stick your head out the window.
I could have let you ride.
I would have went with you.
Yeah.
No, it would have been. Well, I don't know. I've never been in a limo. I've always wanted to be one. You know, just to, stick my head out the moonroof. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
So again, all those things. I remember going back when I first came across the legend of Stan Howard, and it's true.
There were quotes around that.
Quotes around that, absolutely. Was when I was working at the radio station back in 1994, and you were known as the singing mailman.
I still am.
You still are the singing mailman.
Yeah.
But the commercials, you sang all kinds of commercials, and I don't know why you're still not doing that. That was awesome. I remember those jingles.
Singing commercials they kind of come and go.
Yeah.
You know, and
they're ready to come back.
I did them for Dom's Dairy Mart, and the first ad they ever did, actually.
What was Dom's?
Yeah, the first ad they did, and the first one I did to sing, and they had to speed it up because it was just a tad over a minute.
Right.
I didn't sound like Alvin, but it was
were
just
close.
a little bit higher and quicker, so they could get it in a minute.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I did a couple for Michael Moving and Storage.
That's the one I remember.
That one used to sponsor the morning weather at 7.
Right.
And I had a guy tell me, I'm tired of listening to you at 7 o'clock.
Why you rob Peter to pay Paul or something like that?
Yeah, you don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul and Mary.
You have to wait.
Yeah, but my favorite was one I did. The second song I did for Michael Moving and Storage, I did to the tune of "Leaving on a Jet Plane."
Can you remember it?
Huh? Yeah. All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm moving to Boise, Idaho. And it went on from there.
Yeah.
And it went Michael and Storage,
Right.
Michael Moving and Storage, you know. But it was, I just thought of that one day. When you're walking a mail route, right, you have time to think of all these things.
Time to think and sing.
And sing to yourself, and
talk to
people come out and
officers.
say, well, don't give up your job, or, oh, I like that, you know.
Right, yeah.
You always get critics, you know.
Yeah, well, sure you do.
Yeah,
Sure you do.
yeah.
So that was my first time, and I remember everybody would always tell me how many kids you had.
Yes.
I mean, that's the first day. He's got 10. This is Stan Howard. He's got 10 kids.
Yeah.
And I remember one time you told me that you were trying to get the disciples, the 12, but you didn't.
No, I didn't make it,
And
no.
who's the youngest? Which youngest name? Your youngest child?
Laura.
So Laura was perfection, right? So when
Evidently.
she had her, it was
I gave up after that. No, I can't top this, you know.
Right, yeah.
And she's 21 now, so
Oh, wow.
I think we're safely past anything happening again,
right,
you know.
Yeah. Now you got,
Yeah.
well, you said you got 13 grandkids, so you
13
got
grandkids, yeah.
disciples and then some.
Yeah.
With it, yeah. And
Yeah.
grandkids are the greatest, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Give them back.
Yeah.
Let them go back.
Go home.
Yeah, that's right.
Take
With some
this
sugar.
child home.
Yeah, with some sugar and
yeah.
you know, maybe money.
I gave me a couple Mountain Dews, but hey, what the, you know.
That's right. That's right. So I remember that. You know, the kids. Now, can you name them backwards, forward?
My children?
Yeah. Can you go backwards, forward in order? Or?
I'll go up oldest to youngest.
Can you do that? Yeah.
Emma,
Yeah.
Dan.
Love her. Love him.
Dan,
Yeah.
Pete,
Yeah.
Lucas,
Lucas.
Susanna, Amanda,
Amanda.
Tim, Matt, Georgia, and Laura.
You got it. Yeah. It sounds right to me.
Trust me.
Sometimes I try to remember. I got 3.
Trust
okay,
me.
Who's the oldest? No,
Well, there were times I'd say, well, you know who you are, just quit.
Yeah.
But just keep saying the name, you know.
If your last
Oh,
name's
that's not it
Howard,
either. That's
stop.
not it either. Yeah.
Right, yeah. If your last name's Howard, just stop. Yeah.
But the boys were very prolific eaters.
Wow. Okay. See, that's
And back in the day, there was where the hot pot is now, there was a taco place.
right. Yeah. Taco Grande. I worked there one
Yes.
time. Yeah.
And on Sundays, they had 10 tacos for $3.
Right. Yes, I remember that.
So on Sunday evenings, I would go in and get 50. And it was quite humorous because the turnover in help was pretty big,
Right. Yeah. I was one of
you
them.
know. So
I think
I might
major
have
tacos
shocked you a time or
Yeah,
two
I got it.
because
I can't do
you
this.
would walk in and say, "Oh, can I help you?" And I'd say, "I'd like 50 tacos, please." And they just go, "Yeah, but what?"
You gotta be kidding me.
And
Yeah.
one time the fellow looked around at the ladies working with him and says, "What do we do?" She
make
said, "Well,
50.
make him. He'll wait. He always does."
Yeah. Yeah. You got to wait for a long time when you
Yeah.
take the kids out to eat.
But the boys, they love to eat, and there was one, remember one time especially at Rax when Rax had the
I
salad.
remember, yeah.
Rax had a nice salad bar, and one day at Rax, the boys were especially hungry, I guess, and they waited for us to leave before they restocked the salad bar.
they didn't want you to keep going back.
But they could eat. I mean,
Yeah.
they could. I had one son that would walk in at a full table and say, "You eaten yet?" Which meant I can eat all of this. Get what you want.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was just that age where they could eat a lot.
Now your boys, you know, sports prevalent. I mean, of course they're their own team. I mean,
Well, they never played a lot because we lived out in the country and that kind of thing. But by the time Matt came along, it was obvious that he was just a kind of a cut above,
right.
you know. And so we sat everybody down and says, now the rest of you guys haven't played sports. You okay with him doing it? I mean, are you going to back him? I mean, because if we're not all in this together, he's not doing it. And he said, yeah.
That's awesome.
And, the 4 years he was at Butler, that was the only times we would see each other
It was during the game.
all together,
Wow.
was at ball games. And so it really brought us together.
Yeah. So now let me ask a question on that. Now, when they backed Matt, when it was like, what grade was he in when it was like, okay, he needs to play sports?
Well, before he went into high school.
Oh, okay. So
You know.
before now, did the other boys, some of them a little bit older, Dan and Tim a little older, were they like, okay, I want to start playing sports now. I want to get into.
Well, the boys were all older than him, see.
Right.
And the big deal was all my boys got progressively taller.
Right. Yeah, they did.
Yes. And back when I had like 3 or 4 children, everybody tells you, I think you've got enough. And but those same people, when they heard all the boys got taller, said, "You think you can have one more?" And
Trying to get
I
7
said,
foot,
"Oh,
right?
you're very you have very strong convictions about this, don't you?" But they thought he'd be 7 foot tall,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the
Well, still
two
6'8",
after him
6'9".
were both shorter than him.
Right. Yeah.
But they were girls, but at the same time, they were short.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that probably would have ended anyway.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, he's what, 6'8", 6'9"?
They officially said last year he was 6'7".
6'7". Okay. Still, that's.
Of course, I used to be 6'4" too, and I'm just 6'2.5" now.
Well,
I tell people I got married and settled down. An inch and a
I
half
wish I was
settled
this
down.
close to 6 foot and never did make
Yeah,
it. So
I'm still over 6 foot. So
I'm not, and never will be, unless
probably
I
not.
wear some pumps. But
Yeah.
nonetheless. So Matt started playing basketball, and you guys. I mean, it was obviously when he was playing in the bowl. That's huge. Did you think it would get any bigger after that?
I didn't think so, but when he started traveling playing AAU in the summer, I kind of wondered.
Right.
Because some guys, when they play at a higher level like he was playing,
Right.
don't stand out.
Right.
They're still a good player.
Right.
But even when he played amongst the best competition, it seemed like he always
Stood out.
stood out.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, it'll be all right. But then, because he played in Las Vegas, he played against Greg Oden in Las
I remember
Vegas,
that, yeah.
and on all that stuff. And I thought, well, he'll go to Butler, and he'll have a good time. You
Right.
know, I never envisioned what would happen.
Unbelievable. I tell you, one of my favorite, and this is maybe weird on my part, but one of my favorite photos of Matt was, and this is the type of ball player he was when he got all bloodied up and he still played. I mean, he was batting in there, had that, all that, and he's a fighter. And I don't remember him coming out of that game. I want to say
He did.
Well, he came off to get
It was
the
right
ball
before
off.
halftime. No,
But I wanna say, he
couldn't-
didn't come back second
He
half?
didn't come back.
Okay, I thought he did.
Well, he
So,
wanted
yeah.
to.
Yeah, but that's the type of
They
guy
wouldn't
he
let
is.
him.
Yeah.
And he had to sit out a game, and he was that was the worst game of his life.
I bet it was.
He was just like a caged animal
Yeah, I
over there,
bet he
wanting to
was.
get in
Yeah,
there.
wanting to get.
Yeah.
See, but I just remember that, and it's like,
Yeah.
gosh, that kid, he had to go get it. Now again, you started here in Connersville, moved out to the big communities of Orange and Harrisburg. You're back at Orange. You got a connection now with Orange.
Yes, the Orange Methodist Church lost their pastor here a while back. He was the Methodist Church wanted him to do more schooling, and he said, "I'm too old for that." So they said, "Well, we'll see ya." So they were looking for someone to fill the pulpit, and they asked me, and I've been there for over a year now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm at Grace now, so we're
Yeah, yeah.
It's fun to do that.
Yeah.
And I take now. Let me ask you a question now. Because I'm one of those rare pastors that I can't sing. I'm terrible. I mean, they've had me come up during the choir to.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm burning people's eardrums out, or they turn
Okay,
their.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
terrible. So you do a lot of singing at church?
Well, I sing with them, but I don't do any,
No solos?
solos or anything. Nah.
Why not?
That's not what I'm there for.
Oh, you're
But I still sing. I mean, I'll come to you guys. You guys
Yeah.
had us sing last year, and I
Yeah.
came and sang.
Yeah, we need that.
And I sing out there with them, but
Yeah.
it's a small enough group that they're all hearing me sing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we need to have you come on out.
Yeah.
You've been doing the national anthem for how many years now?
few years. I started when Matt was at Butler, and
Has it only been that? I thought it was longer.
well, yeah. Well, maybe a little bit before that. I would sing out here at the park at the tractor pulls,
Okay, yeah.
and I would sing out there. And because it was funny, at a Butler Senior Day a few years ago, I was standing there waiting to go out and sing, and the color guy for the radio station, the Butler Radio, Nick Gardner, said, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Listen, pal, I do this thing for tractor pulls. This is nothing compared to a tractor pull." And he looked at me and said, "That's pretty funny, man."
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I don't guess you're nervous. I said, nah, these people aren't going to remember. They just want here to watch a game.
That's right, that's right.
You mess up for the good old boys, and you're in trouble,
That's
man.
right, yeah. Well, that you do it right, and you get out of there because they want to see the pool.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
Don't do that like. Oh,
You don't hold it out. No, sir.
You do your thing. Get
Absolutely.
Out. Yeah, obviously we can tell. You know, I've always loved you because I mean you make me laugh every time. But you know, your boys, your family, your whole family. I remember subbing for Georgia. She had me in stitches at times.
Yeah.
You have a great. Who gave you your humor?
I suppose my dad liked a good joke.
Yeah.
And
Nothing wrong
and
with
he liked to joke around.
Yeah.
And because I remember his family, they had a little bit of oil on their land down in the southern part of the state, not a lot. And once in a while, for a while, he'd get checks for $70, $80, you know, but then it dried up.
Right.
And one day, place where he was working, he had a check in his pocket. It was from the oil company. He says, "What you got in that pocket there?" He said, "Oh, it's a royalty check from the oil company." The guy said, "We knew you had money." He said, "Yeah, this one here's for 75. It was 75 cents. And but he liked to do stuff like that.
So they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, it's 75,000 or
Yeah,
something."
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're coming at 75.
Yeah, but he always liked to joke and
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I see Dan out all the time, and that guy's a hoot. I mean, he has me in stitches every time. Matt has one of those humors, and you were sharing a story before about his humor compared to the Greek humor or the French humor, or wherever he's at over there in European, a little bit different.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
He had a Greek buddy that one day Matt had said something he thought was funny, and the Greek player said, "I suppose you think what you said was funny." Matt said, "Well, yes. So I'll tell you what, you tell me something that you think's funny." So the Greek guy told him, Matt said, "That was the dumbest thing." I mean, so it's just a different culture, difference in cultures, but the humor isn't always the same everywhere you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah.
he's over there and Europe playing. What team is he playing on now?
He's playing for Strasbourg, France.
Strasbourg, France. So
They're called the SIG, S-I-G.
SIG.
You can go online. I wish my wife was here. See, she knows all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
I'm the little Amish guy. I just now got a cell phone. And I don't know anything about computers.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know, when we were texting, I thought, hey, Stan's in the 20, because we were texting to get the show.
Yeah.
Stan, he's in the 21st century.
Oh,
Yeah.
not really. I got a cell phone. I answer it. You
Yeah,
notice
yeah.
I never text you back.
That's right, you did call.
Oh, no. I call. I don't text.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. No Facebook page or anything? No.
No.
I need to create a Stan Howard fan page.
Oh, my.
I should do that. Maybe we get something like that on there. Stan, it's almost time. We got a few
Oh, my
more minutes
goodness.
before- 30 minutes goes by fast.
It does.
Yeah, it goes by very fast.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share with the people of Connorsville? Any wisdom? You want to sing a song? Anything you want to do before you get out of here? Probably not. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I just want to repeat how I know it's been almost 5 years now.
Yeah. Yes.
But how much I appreciate what they did in 2011.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to me and spoke volumes to me about this town.
Yeah.
And no matter what people say about it, that it's they've got big hearts and
Sure.
and they opened up themselves to us, and I never will forget it, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stan Howard, he's been on the spot. Join us next month for another fine edition of On the Spot. See you.